to share. It's just that there's a lot of pain involved. But I was basically coaching a number of my clients, and I realized that this topic continued to come up in a way that it's like, what are we gonna do now? How are we gonna survive this? It's another lockdown. All kinds of responses, reactions, whether emotional or physical, start to manifest. And I decided that tonight probably is a good time to talk about this: how fitness helped me survive and thrive. Now, I do want to give you a bit of a forewarning. This is quite spiritual because it deals a lot with psychology, it deals a lot with emotions. Having said that, I think that if you're open to it, this conversation, me really sharing all of these things out for you guys, will probably help you a lot if you are currently feeling unstable, or if you're currently feeling not very good about whatever that's happening right now. But before that, if let's say you like this content, do drop a comment, do share, do drop a like, give some reaction so that I know that my content is being appreciated. That will definitely encourage me to do more of this. So, how fitness helped me survive and thrive in times of crisis. I would like to start by what is my life currently over the past few months. And I'm gonna share this not in a way to show that I'm all that, I don't have to prove anything to you guys. But I want to share this because I want you guys, especially if you are really feeling unstable right now, I want to share this to you so that you know and you can see the potential. So nowadays, even with this lockdown and everything happening, right? Actually, in my to be really frankly honest with you, I'm covered. That is what I wish to say without really revealing my income, but I'm covered. And the reason why I'm covered is because I have stumbled upon certain opportunities to both help people as well as make money. So fitness used to be my only source of income, but as I mentioned, in the past, due to MCO, my alignment sort of changed. I no longer very very interested in fitness. I only use it as a vehicle now to show you guys that there is something a lot more important, and through the medium of fitness, I wish to teach. And this is one of the ways that I'm going to teach you guys. Actually, there is something very fundamental that will change everything for you if you pay attention. So it is because of certain things that happen, I managed to pay attention. I managed to land a few opportunities. And I'm going to start with this story. I think I'm going to share this story with you guys. So boy meets girl. They hit it off. They find that they like each other, and the boy plucked up his courage and asked the girl out for a date. At the end of the date, the guy and the girl feel really good. So the guy asked, "Would you like to do this again?" The girl said, "Yeah, let's do it." So they plan another and another and another. And a couple of dates later, the guy suddenly realized that he's completely head over heels with her. And he's completely in love with her. Now, the insecurities start to begin. The insecurities start. The guy started to think, what if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not handsome enough? I'm not really rich. What if this? What if that? And through his thinking, there is only one answer to it all. And the answer is, I got to work hard to win her over. So he started buying her flowers and take her out, buy her gifts, shower her with so-called love, so on and so forth, on and on and on. This guy keep on giving things to her. To a certain point where the girl is feeling like, Why am I being inundated by all of these things? But the guy doesn't get it. The guy keep on doing it. Now, those of you ladies who are listening to this, you probably can relate. You probably have heard something like this before. Probably happened to you, because almost every lady, every woman I know have experienced this before at some point in their life. So the guy kept on showering her with gifts. At some point, this girl says, it's getting too much. Can you please stop? But the guy doesn't understand. Like, why would the girl ask him to stop? And one day, while he was minding his own business, lo and behold, he saw this girl walking with a guy in a supermarket, another guy. And they look like they are having so much fun. And they look like they're having an amazing time together, enjoying each other's company. Now, the guy is really, really jealous now. And the guy said, surely my effort is not enough. So the guy said, no pain, no gain. Bam, let's try even harder. So off he went. He showered her with even more things, more gifts, more flowers, all of those things. And at some point, the girl just completely ghosted him. Guys, if you are listening, you can probably relate. And then, what happens after that? Nothing happened. The girl and the guy went their separate ways. The boy was so heartbroken. Many years later, they both grew up into adults and they both get married. There was a reunion dinner. So they both went into the reunion dinner and they caught up. And the girl said to him, back then, I really feel a lot of chemistry with you. If you had not tried so hard, we would have been together. For most of us, the only reason why we are the way we are, financially, emotionally, physically, the reason why we are the way we are is because we have been standing in our own way. We have been causing problems to ourselves. And the reason why we cause problem to ourselves is because there are too much noise in our mind over here. Too much noise, too much doubt, too many doubts, too many insecurities, too many things happening. Things would have to happen naturally on its own. But when the opportunity calls, we don't pay attention. When good things are happening, we don't appreciate. When bad things are happening, we overreact. So good things become bad, and the bad things become worse. And that's the reason why there is a saying that says, we don't create abundance. We don't create abundance, we create limitations. We don't create abundance, we create limitations. That is where the saying comes. If we simply get out of our own way, everything will fall into place. So, how does it relate with fitness? Well, consider this. Why is the mind so busy? Why is the mind so busy? Why is there so much overreaction over what's happening? Why do people hog toilet papers? Why do people do all these unreasonable, crazy, irrational things? Because of fear and desire. It is a paradigm of fear and desire. Fear is pushing us away from certain things. Most of the time, the things that we don't like are the very things that we need to have in our life. And desire is creating all kinds of tunnel vision for us. Racehorse? Racehorses have blinders on the side because they want to prevent the horses from looking to the side. Now, the advantage of doing that is focus. When you have a lot of focus, you'll be able to go very fast. But go fast in which direction? So, the dark side of focus is tunnel vision. That is the dark side of focus. So, as you guys are going out and trying to survive, trying to make more money, a question to ask yourself is, are your desires making you have a tunnel vision? How sure are you that's your answer, that your answer is accurate? Are your fears causing you to impose limitation to yourself? Are your insecurities, are your guilt, are your shame, are your negative emotion, are your angers and frustrations causing you to create limitations to yourself? Is it causing you damage even as you're trying to build something amazing in your life? So how does fitness help me? Well, it all started 14 years ago, 14, 15 years ago. The first lesson that I learned from fitness in support of me being able to see things the way I am right now was, to be honest, fallacy. I spent months at the gym working all kinds of things, trying all kinds of things without research, without study. And I realized that there was no results. And when I finally picked up Uncle Google, when I finally go to Uncle Google to ask questions and started learning, I realized the amount of BS we've been sold online about how things work. There are so many myths. And all of these myths, I was trying it one at a time. If I didn't go and learn the science, I would have continued trying it even long after that. So the first lesson I learned from fitness was fallacy. And the second lesson I learned was intensity. Now, once I learned all of the right things, if I don't take action, what results would it create? Nothing, right? And that was when I started developing the tunnel vision for fitness. So in fitness, I was looking at the idea of no pain, no gain, because back then when fitness first started, and it started becoming mainstream, there were a lot of hoo-ha, there was a lot of motivational. The people who are motivational speakers are also trainers. So they talk about things like no pain, no gain, how bad you want it, all of this, so I get very charged, and I was very willing to trade off a temporary sacrifice for long-term. It's actually not really long-term, but for that goal of having six-pack abs and whatnot. So that is an example of desire causing tunnel vision. I wasn't looking at long-term at all. I was just looking at, okay, if I can get six-pack abs, I would be very, very happy. And so that happened. For several months, this continued. And then after that, I got burnout. Desire causes you to burn out, seriously. When you start telling yourself, this is something I'm going to do temporarily, and in the long run, I'm going to let it go. Well, in the long run, you're going to get very burnout. So this happened, and 10 times I went from like strong desire to burnout, strong desire to burnout, strong desire, burnout, on and on again for 8 years, 10 times. This happened. And eventually, that tunnel vision, this has to happen to me. This 8 years has to happen to me. The 8 years of pain has to happen to me for me to realize the dangers of tunnel vision. And that was the first time in my life that I learned how to be kind to myself. How to be kind meaning, okay, I can't really do this intense. Even if I should, quote unquote, should do it so intensely. I realized, okay, I can't really do it intense, can't sustain it long term. Right? Many people are rushing, right? Always rushing here, rushing there, all the time rushing. So when I finally realized that, I finally started to see permanent results the moment I started to realize that. But of course, there's all kinds of other things as well. My next lesson also came from fitness, non-attachment to results, which means that we learn from the results that we can get. We learn from it. Now, if you look at any good trainers or coaches, whenever we step onto the scale to measure the progress, if we don't see progress, we don't go into breakdowns. We don't go like, oh, I don't see results, But even though a lot of newbies, that's exactly what happens to them, right? But at the same time, no matter how much breakdown you're in, it doesn't solve the problem. It is what it is. And in fact, staying inside the breakdown, grieving, being sad, self-pitying, all of those things only drags it longer between you and action and results. If you want result, you gotta do action. But how can you create action when you are stuck in self-pity mode? You can't. And even if you can, it's never gonna be 100% effective. You can go and digest this yourself, But basically, this whole journey of fitness also taught me about non-attachment. And by the way, as I'm sharing all of this, if you're getting value, type it in, write it down, the lessons that you're learning from my story so that you don't repeat my story. And then after that, the next lesson that I learned was when I started my business. Because as I started my business, I realized that very few of us on planet Earth are actually paid to look good. So because we are very few of us are paid to look good, whenever something happens externally, whether it's business, family, whatever it is, for sure, we would let go of fitness first to go and attend to that. And that was when my ability to be non-attached, all of those things really tested. So when it's tested this way, universe is they kind of give you a noise, they kind of give you a tap. But if you don't learn from the taps, the universe is going to give you a big smack. So business took a toll on me. I completely let go of my fitness, and all 8 years of hard work and effort failed, gone, down the drain. I got obese again, overweight. And then it was only thanks to the being kind to yourself principle that I learned, that I start to learn again, and I say, okay, cool, let me just take one step at a time. No perfectionism, always progress. No perfectionism, imperfect action, one at a time, bit by bit. And I finally learned and finally got results. And the idea also, and the lesson that I learned from that was self-care above all else. So many people I see, the only reason why they're not doing well in life is because they take care of everything else except themselves. Yes. Because they go 100% for everything else. They go 0% for themselves, or they got 3%, 30%, 40% for themselves. It's not going to be, they're not going to be able to produce. Their 100% isn't going to change a lot of things. Because they never invest in their own soft skill, in the skills, in their abilities, in their faculties. So if you are owning a business and your business is in trouble, whose job is it to save your business? You. So if you are limited, then your business is going to be limited as well. And therefore, that's what happened to me, by the way. I was very limited. So my business was limited by me. And as a result of that, I lost the business. It was a very painful lesson. And another thing that this whole fitness thing taught me was relationships. Because we tend to make the fastest progress when we surround ourselves with like-minded people. And that taught me the ability to let go of people who are not ready. People who are still thinking about drinking all the time, eating all the time. At some point in the fitness journey, we got to learn how to let those people go. Likewise, in your business, if you want to grow your business, you got to be hanging around people who are also wanting to grow their business. But how can you do so when all of your time is spent on work? How can you network when all of your time is spent on work? How can you work effectively if all of your time is spent on people who are energy drainers, energy vampires, draining your time, draining your energy, don't want to improve, don't want to go anywhere. They just want to so-called enjoy life. And once that happened, once my business closed down, I was, at some point I was suicidal, seriously. But you see, another thing that doing fitness taught me, the ability to handle pain. Because in fitness is like a microcosm of existence. is a very good reflection of what is happening in the universe. You see, the universe doesn't care what you like or don't like. The universe doesn't care what you believe or disbelieve. Science doesn't care what you think is right. Science is science, truth is truth. So in fitness, we see people all the time. They're trying to get the magic pill. They're trying to do the magic workout. The kind of things that, you do it just this one, everything is settled. Of course, no problem. In fact, copywriters' favorite thing is to promise that. Obviously, marketers' favorite thing to promise. Fast results, easy, no problem, right? Until you get into it and you realize the truth. Actually, no matter what is the stroke, what is the shape, or what is the color that marketers promise, you go into fitness, the true fitness is always the same. Mechanics, consistency, intensity, sim. Different words, different smell, same shit. Always. And being in fitness, being exposed to all the myths, all of the BSs that marketers try to peddle, make me see that. So I became very, very careful before I believe in something, before I subscribe to something. I no longer wish to look for answers. I wish to look for learning lessons. Not answers, but lessons. And to be honest, fitness is pretty painful. You do workout, you're going to experience pain. You do food, when you're dieting, when you're trying to lose weight, it is painful to let go of certain things that has always brought you joy. That's always brought you pleasantries, pleasant experiences. It is painful. And if you don't let go of that, again, the universe doesn't care what you like or dislike, believe or disbelieve, agree or disagree. The universe is the universe. There are rules in place. Likewise, in your in business, in your income. Are you constantly looking for things that doesn't exist? Are you constantly waiting for that one amazing, beautiful, brilliant, perfect opportunity before you start taking action? Are you going course after course after course after course, hoping that you will eventually find that easy answer for yourself to move on? Because it doesn't exist. And so, because of all of that, when I lost my business, I wasn't so easily deceived, so to speak. I was able to handle, because it is a transition from physical pain to emotional pain. And I remind myself all the lessons that I have learned started to come together. That year, last year, was my second last year in my entire life. This year was my best year in my entire life. Last year, for the first time ever, I did not have to worry about money. Because even though I own a business for 4 years, every month I was really seriously like almost no income, because all money goes back to the business. I was taking a small director's fee, that's all. Last year, for the first time, I have a breathing room. And with that breathing room, I said to myself, I'm going to devote the rest of my year to work on myself, because I realize now that I am the problem. And if I am the problem, I am also the solution. All these years before last year, I was a victim. I spent it all blaming things, external situations, people, my team, my friends, my mom, my dad, my family, all of those things. I spend all the time just blaming people. Last year, I took ownership. And I say it's never anyone's fault, not even my own fault. We are the way we are. It is all just about, what do we do from here? Where do we go from here? Simple. And that became my best year ever. And this year became my best year ever. This trend continued. I'm not rich, I'm not wealthy, but I don't have to worry. And I know that I have the ability to move on. Even if I lose all of these, I can start over. Because now I have the ability to handle pain. I have the ability to just accept what is. So bottom line is this, right? It's time for me to end my sharing. If you are the source of your problems, you are also the source of all your solutions. The only reason why you cannot see a solution is because you're blinded by your fears, your guilt, your anger, your desires, your shame, your insecurities, your sadness, your grief, your apathy, hopelessness. All these are useless emotions. Actually, there is some use. They help you survive. They help you struggle. But if you want to go past struggling, you got to start surviving. If you want to go past surviving, you got to start thriving. If you're already surviving, stop thinking about surviving, guys. If you're already surviving, start thinking about how can you thrive? How can you move forward? How can you go further? Because no matter how bad things are, don't you want to go to the next level? If you just go to the next level, all of this is solved. I know I'm oversimplifying it, but it is basically just like that. The only thing you need to do is just get out of your own way. That is all. And pay attention. Right now, you think that there is no money? Right now, how many of you actually think that there is no money in the world, or there is a scarcity of money in the world? That's false. That's not true. While so many of us are struggling, some people are making it big. They're like, another lockdown? They are so happy because they can see the way when most people can't. And you can only see the way when you are not blinded by your emotions, when you stop being emotional. So, first things first, clear yourself, be emotionally free, accept the pain, accept the risk. Whatever is that's happening right now is happening. There's no point trying to deny it. There's no point trying to wait for it. There's no point trying to pin it on someone or blame some people. Conspiracy theories doesn't work, doesn't matter, because it's all about what is happening and what do you intend to do about it. And just like that, I'm gonna end my sharing. This has been a nice sharing for me, but I do not know how is it like for you. Please say something so that I know. I will see you guys tomorrow in the same time, 6:45 a.m. followed by 6:45 p.m. on streaming on my personal profile and also YouTube. If you like it, hit subscribe so you can get notifications. And I shall see you guys again. In the meantime, stay true.